And he slept morning. He said, "You sleep well?" Very well. He said, like, for a long time I couldn't sleep. And then I crashed. Kausalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartase Uttishta Narashardula Kartavyam Daivamanhikam. This is how our morning begins. Every day for a really long time. In my case, I think it's more than 30 years. Ever since my corporate career took off, I think pretty much my mornings have begun with MS Subbalakshmi in the background, thinking Suprapasa, and a small moment of showing gratitude to the universe, and then the rest of the day begins. And when Dominique came to meet me for the first time in Bangalore, and he saw me pray, he said, "Can I join you?" And since then, so for the last 4.5 years, it's been pretty much the same. Both of us haven't missed a single day. So it's interesting. I think somewhere around 2007, I remember a conversation with my father. And I said to him, "Appa, all these years, I had such a huge wish list when I prayed. And now suddenly, because Ganesha has been so kind to me all my life, I have no wish list at all. I only have, I just pray, that's all. I don't have anything to ask for." And in his typical style and in typical candor, he said, in which case, now is the time to say thank you. And since then, believe you me, my prayer is only thank you for all that you have given me. And I think the only thing today both Dominic and I pray for is that Anayasena Maranam, give us easy death, Bina Dainiyena Jeevita. So far, that is how we have lived. Till our death, please ensure that we live our life without being at somebody's mercy. What do you think, Dominic? Yeah, so we pray together. Ganeshin, God is God. We pray together, we pray God. Right. And remember what your priest said? Yes, yes, when I go to church, priest tell, "Oh, you are Catholic? How impossible you don't come every Sunday in church?" I don't know why. I'm coming in church when I want. I pray in moment I want. I'm not obligation, be practicant because I come every Sunday. No, we pray together and we enjoy his moment. Iris, Neige, come for mama. Oh, no, where is Neige running away? Go call Iris. Dada, breakfast time. I think both of them are very hungry. His moment for breakfast. Iris, Neige, some please. My daughter are very lucky, because every day they have a beautiful plate, they have a beautiful choice, vegetable and this. But for me, it's totally normal because, I think if I put all food in plate, don't enjoy. All time when I work, my very important thing is I want making beautiful plate because it is important you enjoy when you look before you eat. And one day, one customer tell me, we don't become Michelin-star chef, we are Michelin-star chef because in my head, every side is this I want making all perfect for the customer enjoy. And for my dog, it's like I'm making I put a lot of color. Iris like carrot, she like cucumber, but she don't imagine one flat, one puree, and tea. This Iris plate, this Neige, he have a color, he have a taste, he have a different thing for their enjoy. Children are very strange. Once I cook, I was a Michelin-star chef in Dijon. One day, my second son, who will be in cars, tell me, you know that what is this big yellow M? And I said, no, it is a McDonald's M. And he says, Joe is the best restaurant. I tell him, my God, how is it possible? Every time I'm making a beautiful plate for you understand what is important cooking, and you appreciate McDonald's. Just very, very, very strong.
And it's very interesting. We've never used doggy bowls for Iris and Neige. We have very expensive ceramic, artisan and plate for both of them. Picked up from some of the best craft places in Himachal. And when we travel, obviously we can't carry these ceramic plates. When we travel and we carry the typical doggy bowls, you can almost see that, disgusted look on both their faces saying, okay, now why are we eating out of doggy bowls?
Yeah, and it was unheard. See, now this moment, and there are preset a plate. Allez, doggy, this time.
Oh my God, why are you reading Concoctions too? I don't understand. Where did you excavate this book from? Jesus Christ.
I just remember whole life.
By the way, this is how I seduced. With this book is how I seduced Dominique on Tinder. Ours, is a December romance. Dominique was on the wrong side of 50s. And I think I had just entered my 60s. And we met on Tinder. And I right-swiped him because I'm an untrained cook. I'm a corporate professional, but my mother was a wonderful cook. I mean, there were some of her signature dishes that are unbelievable. But she was a lovely teacher, so I never learned cooking from her. And in fact, I grew to dislike cooking because of how she was recipe-driven, how everything had to be in a particular way. That's not my style. I like everything freewheeling and, creative and all of that. So I never learned cooking from her. But I think I was fortunate that the men in my life were foodies. So I actually ended up experimenting and cooking and things like that. So when I saw on Tinder that Dominique is a Michelin-star chef, I said, bingo, for an untrained cook like me, finally, probably, I will be able to have a mentor, and that to a Michelin-star chef from whom I can learn cooking.
Thanks God, I don't forget writing, I am Michelin-star chef.
Thank God, otherwise I won't eat them like swiped you.
But it's very strange because I think if I am with you actually, is one big part how you cook. Because my God, you have this madness when you cook. It's writing in your book. Cooking is exactly what you are. Right? No, you have how I can tell this? We are complementary together.
Right.
I will cooking with a lot of rigidity. You will cooking with a lot of madness. In life, it's same. But I don't tell. It's only me. I am rigid and this. But we are totally complementary. And this is very good.
Right. I think in the early days, Dominique used to be horrified by my style of cooking because as a chef, and as a chef who's worked for 49 years in global kitchens, he can't do things freewheeling, right? There has to be a process, there has to be a procedure, there has to be a method to his madness. And Michelin star obviously means that he is process oriented. And here I am, I open the refrigerator, I see what is there, I put things together, and I give it my own fancy name without worrying about authenticity and things like that. So I think you were horrified, no, when you saw me cooking.
And opposite, you are very strong. When I want driving, I can, okay, I want driving. No, first you take your license, the driving license. After you can driving.
Right. Yeah, for that I am rule bound. For cooking, I am not. Correct. Dominic came to India in 2018, and I'm sure he will be very keen on sharing why he came to India, what brought him to India. But before that, he came to India to this 7-star French luxury resort called Bonne Vista.
Yes.
Owned and operated by a French gentleman. And this was in Jaipur. So till 2020, April, till I right-swiped him on Tinder and we started chatting on WhatsApp, he knew nothing outside of Bonne Vista. Typical chef, completely kitchen is my whole word. At best, he would go, I think, to the Hawa Mahal area in Jaipur once in a while to eat one pani puri or to buy one Colgate toothpaste. But otherwise, he knew nothing of India. So when I met him on Tinder and I said, I live in Bangalore, he was like, where is Bangalore? And I said, why don't you come to Bangalore? Don't forget, 2020 is thick of COVID. This is April. We started conversation in April. And I remember when Dominique said, let's do a video chat, I said, no, I've not had a haircut. I am not doing a video chat till things ease up, salons open, and I have a haircut. It was that bad. So I said to him, why don't you come to Bangalore? And on July 1st, 2020, he came to Bangalore. And for him, the notion of traveling 3,700 kilometers by flight
Normal.
was totally
3,700 is most full time. No, France, till South France. How imagine when we go in France in holiday, we're making maximum 800 kilometers. It's a long travel. Imagine.
And here he was traveling 3,700 kilometers. The airports had so many regulations, so much of documentation. I handled all the documentation for him. I even went to the airport to pick him up and make sure that they didn't stamp that quarantine thing on his wrist. But it was a difficult period. I'm sure that experience was very, very hard, right?
See my face.
So, having invited him to Bangalore, I want him just to stay put at home. But we couldn't travel anywhere outside, and I couldn't show him anything. So what we did, we would drive to the outskirts of Bangalore in different directions, but we would make a picnic out of it. Do you remember, Dominique? We would cook at home, make a nice picnic basket, and drive outside. We would go to temples, but look at the temples from outside. We would climb the steps to the temples on top of mountains or whatever, but we couldn't really go in. We couldn't see anything. No? How was your experience of that?
My experience, my God, you know, first, I came in India without repast going in India.
Okay.
I come in India because India asked me.
Oh, okay.
India asked me one day. I received one call. One person asked me, "I want you come to work with me in Jaipur because my friend recommended you because I know you are a famous chef." Okay, but where in India? In Jaipur. I take a map. Jaipur, where is Jaipur? I don't know. You know, for in French people, what is India? India is elephant, Taj Mahal, and Holi festival. It's finished. After, when I reach Buena Vista, first, I remember this anecdote. One cab is waiting me, and I go in cab. I want sitting front, and I go right. I open the door and oh my God, we are not in France. Go left. First.
Okay.
Second time for going in Buena Vista, the roads are terrible, one small village, and the resort, like all resorts in India, last kilometer are terrible. And I tell my God, what is problem? This person, he recommended me, he don't love me. He tell this owner, as my chef is coming, but
So that he can be punished?
you be punished is not a good place. I was terrible, terrified, totally terrified because I tell it's not the reality, it's not possible. And after I start working in this resort,
But when you saw the resort, what was your impression? Because it was a beautiful resort.
beautiful resort, yes. But I think all India is like this resort.
Okay.
I think all India is like Rajasthan.
Okay.
And I work in this resort. I go in Jaipur. I enjoy to see two elephants, and I think, okay, I discover all India.
Okay.
And after, when I meet you, when I reach Bangalore, I remember how I was impressed with all green area in around Bangalore.
Yes.
How Mysore is beautiful. How we have a mountain. For me, it was
Charm. I know how fascinating.
it was a totally fight and in charm with this.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And do you remember our picnics?
Yes, you know, I remember a lot. A picnic. Go in France, tell, okay, we will making picnic. We will taking one baguette, open, making butter, ham, cheese. We cut in four, and picnic is you eat one sandwich.
Okay.
You picnic concept is I'm coming with all my vessel. I cook 2 hours before. I prepare all, and it's a gastronomic picnic in a beautiful place with a beautiful view.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And the notion of picnic, at least to me, the notion of picnic is not a sandwich. The notion of picnic is to set up a table like I would set up at home. And I have to say this. I think I seduced Dominique with the pictures of my breakfast.
I will tell this.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think
I have a COVID experience, and I have one bad and beautiful experience. It's the same experience. My bad experience is we stay in a resort only 5-6 persons. One chef is here for making food, and you don't have motivation when you don't have a customer and this. And every morning he prepare breakfast. And what he prepare? Poa. Poa is poa. And I eat poa 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, poa every day. I have one room, one small table outside my room. I'm sitting and eating my poa. And 2-3 birds are coming on my table. I think I will finish like one bird. And I send the food. And in same time, every day, you prepare your breakfast. You tell me I am alone in a house. It's COVID. You prepare your breakfast with a beautiful flower, one candle, one dish, 2 dish. And then this is my breakfast today. And one day I send you a message, I don't know if you remember that. You sure you alone? Because how you can prepare this for you? I not understand.
so. It's very strange, right? People think, I mean, if you are setting a table, people think you must be having a man in your life for whom you're setting the table. Setting up the table for my pleasure seemed so European and alien concept. I can understand an Indian man feeling threatened by it, but even as a Frenchman, that you didn't believe that I could possibly be staying alone, yet having such an elaborate breakfast. That's very interesting.
Yes, is all you seduce me per all this
I seduced you with my breakfast
every day.
picture
Every day.
because you were eating dry poha every day. Dominic, do you remember when I started this WhatsApp broadcast group?
But you told me last time, but I was very surprised because I think it's a long time, but no, is our story.
I started when we first started traveling,
Was-
even during COVID.
Yes.
And I remember, I think WhatsApp had just introduced the broadcast group at that time because I don't remember who told me about it. And I thought it was an interesting way to share travel stories. So when you and I on January 2nd did, from Jaipur, we went to Jodhpur, Udaipur, Bharatpur, Agra, I thought it was a good idea, And I added only those people who were in my intimate network, in my close network, to the broadcast group, who I thought would be interested in the stories that I would share. Today, that WhatsApp group has become 690 people. And I don't add anybody whom I don't know because, there are a lot of personal things I share on, from our travels. I mean, I'm more comfortable with people I know, and therefore that's how it has remained. So, whenever I share our travel stories, people have always asked me, my God, it's so beautiful. You almost make us travel with you. We travel vicariously because of the stories that are so immersive for us. And why don't you and Dominic write a travelogue? I mean, you guys should do, you have such beautiful pictures. So why don't you guys do a coffee table travelogue or something like that? And I have always maintained, no, I don't want to do that because the kind of experiences Dominic and I have had, no word or picture can do justice to it. So I said, no, I'm not going to do it. But of late, increasingly, people have been putting pressure on us, saying it would be interesting to have these travel stories. So Dominic and I thought maybe a video would be a more intimate and compelling way of sharing our travel stories, sharing vignettes from our life. Because if you look at Dominique and Nandini, there are three things I think that are important for us. One is food, one is travel, and the other is culture. Not necessarily in that order, but I think these three things define pretty much who we are, what we do, why we do what we do. Okay? No, right?
Yes,
Dominic?
sure. Yes, but you remember when you start your podcast, I tell, okay, I will making same with my French.
Right. You would translate to...
Translate is not difficult, I take what you're reading. I go on Google, I making, but you remember, everybody send me message. Why do you send me message for this? It's your life. I'm not interesting. You remember?
What a pity.
I stop this.
It's a pity that the French are so inward looking and the Indians are so curious. I mean, it's two opposite ends, right? Yeah. So this is the reason we thought of video. Why did we call the YouTube channel Concoctions? Because Concoctions was the name of our restaurant in Jaipur. Like I said before, my style of cooking is concoctions. I don't have a recipe. I don't care much about authenticity. It is putting things together and creating something totally new from it. So I concoct dishes. Okay?
Concoction is your identity.
It's my identity. Yes. For more than 10 years, I've been wanting to do a restaurant and call it Concoctions. I never had the guts to do it because, like I said, I'm not a trained cook. I don't know how to run a commercial kitchen. See, at home, family members, friends, when they eat my food, they used to say, wow, it's phenomenal, it's fantastic. But that's because they love me. Whether a customer will walk into my restaurant, pay money for it and say it is still, very good, I was not so sure of that. But now that I had a Michelin-star chef in my corner, I thought maybe we should do concoctions. We will share the story of concoctions, over the next few videos. But The reason we called this video channel also Concoctions was one, because somehow for Dominic and me, that's our identity. That's our joint identity. And Concoctions, we already had an Instagram account.
Yes.
And Concoctions really, the channel is exactly what the word means, that it's a potpourri of different things, a khichdi of different things that happen in our life. Yeah?
Yes, totally. Yes.
And why Indo-French sensibility? Do you want to explain?
No.
I think that's the big cultural difference between us.
Yes. Indo-French, because Indo-French.
Yeah.
Or sensibility is not sensibility, is potpourri is very good.
Right.
But is how we think for one thing, but it's totally different. What you want, I tell you how we discover our place Concoction in Jaipur.
Yes.
You remember this beautiful Haveli we visit? I tell, my God, I imagine a big table. This is a gastronomic restaurant. And you tell honor, no, it's not this we want. I tell, my God, after we go outside, we have a beautiful garden, this small house. I don't know if it's one house.
It wasn't a house. When Giriraj Singh's family used to have horses, they used to store all the horse equipment there in that place.
And you tell, what is it? I can visit? Yes, you can visit. My God, I remember when he opened this door, I was horrified. I go back, I tell, okay, we leave. And in some moment, I heard you is exactly what I want. I look in you and you tell me, I will tell you after. This is exactly sensibility.
Right.
In respect sensibility.
Indian way of looking at things. And I remember I had to convince Dominic on the drive back, don't judge the place now, okay? Wait till we do up the restaurant, then you'll understand, that this is exactly what Concoctions is all about. But I think I continue to shock him like that,
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. It's for this I'm staying here.
Right.